Howdy, howdy. FrostyFire10 here with a comprehensive review of Expedition 33, or Clair Obscur Expedition 33. And I'll keep it simple at the start, of course, no spoilers at the start, apart from me flying around. Fantastic game, and I highly encourage everyone to play it. So wait for a discount if you have any doubt at all in your mind. Always wait for a discount, particularly with single player games. It's a no-brainer, really. You just win instantly as soon as you get it cheaper. But that said, you pay full price, you still win. Fantastic game. Is it the be all and end all game of the year? I think I'm not, I suppose, like traditional review people. I don't think a game deserves 10 out of 10 unless it's a game that you can play and you want to play again and again and again and again, and it has a timeless quality to it for you personally. So that can be very contextual. So maybe you play it in a certain time of your life and it brings that nostalgia, or any of those sorts of things. Emotional weight that you experience and the way the game engages you can be a bit variable. So it can be anyone's game. Any game can be 10 out of 10 for someone. But if I was to give it a rating, no spoilers, I'd go 8 out of 10. I think 8 out of 10 is where I'm very happy to have played it. And I'm considering playing New Game Plus, but then maybe I'll probably never play New Game Plus. Basically, that's where I'm at. Now, a game where I play New Game Plus and I go through and I do it again and again, that's when it starts to work its way up to like 8.5. And then if I play it years later and I still enjoy it, then it can become like a 9 maybe. And then if I'm playing it, years and years and years and years later, then it's where it starts getting to a 10 territory. And yeah, so I really think it's more of a subjective thing. But in terms of like quality of game and all that sort of stuff, if I give something an 8, I think that's pretty high, generally. So yeah, take it from me, FrostyFire10. Like and subscribe. I think it's an 8 out of 10. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10. Again, like I said, I don't think you can give blanket 10 out of 10. So it's just stupid. I don't really like the nature of the numbers rating. For that reason, I think it's such a subjective, personal thing that it's kind of, yeah. I think it's a waste to give 10 out of 10 for things. Generally. Unless you love them with all of your heart. Alright. So, yeah, music, amazing. I will say I actually don't like... spoilers! I actually don't like... The only song I don't like is this one. I actually don't like the song in the open world. I think it's terrible, and it fits the mood of the game in totality of what the story's about, but it doesn't make me want to explore and excite me. Doesn't make me excited to be in the world. Basically, is how I describe the music in the open area. But everywhere else, the boss battles, the battle music is fantastic. Fantastic. Combat, I think, is really good. I really like the depth of the systems. I like that you can, if you're clever, break the game quite early. There's 2 different ways you can break the game. Spoilers. I mean, okay. So I made a recommendation. The game, 8 out of 10. I think it's fantastic, and you should play it. Now, spoilers. So spoiler warning, spoiler warning, spoiler warning. Okay, you can break the game in 2 ways. Early on, as soon as you get the ability to go into water, you can come over here. And in this area, you have capsized ships, and you have the enemies that attack you at the start. So this is kind of where you get capsized. I don't know, it's kind of confusing. But the point is, if you avoid the enemies, pick up items, there's one particular item you can get, which just happens to give you shields. You lose half your health, or is it more than half your health? Half your health you lose, half your maximum health, but you get 3 shields at the start of combat. And it gives everyone 3 shields, and it's once you've got everyone equipped with it. Midas is, yeah, Midas Era, I think, or Midas Ana. It's absolutely incredibly strong. Shields are great. And then when later on you pair it with, if one of you guys dies, they give everyone else shields. Then you just have shields the whole time. So you don't worry about health and defense. You don't need defense. You just have shields. It's just, yeah. It simplifies the game. The second part of breaking the game, is definitely Sprong. Once you beat Sprong, you're pretty much in control, I would say, of most of the game. So Sprong is the guy that walks around here. And if you beat him, which you're supposed to beat him later on once you've got the cap removed. Spoilers, obviously. But if you beat him, which I beat him with the cap on, so it took me 16 minutes. It was epic. And there's a video on the channel. Then you get Cheetah, which means you get 2 turns. And that's just, yeah, you start to break the game. I generally battled because I was on expert difficulty and I had a lot of trouble. And you could see it in some of my boss fights, which I've uploaded on the channel, that it just, things do not go smoothly. But eventually you become super powerful. You know, you're battling against the super secret end boss. Spoilers. Simon. Battling Simon. And then he does his bullshit move and you're like, oh, get stuffed, buddy. And you just like resort to ultimate power. At the cost of cheapening the experience of the game a little bit, you just become so powerful that nothing can stop you. And you don't need defense anymore. You don't need shields anymore. I mean, shields don't work against Simon anyway, he just steals them. So yeah, I'd approached everything else with that. I have shields and that's my defense, and then I get to Simon and he steals the shields and it's like, oh, and I had to change everything. But yeah, I think it's a really good journey experience, except I think the entire story could have been completely different and would have been a better game. Here we go. Here's the juice. Here's the juicy part. I disagree with the storytelling, but I understand. I just think it could have been better in a different way. And obviously, they wanted to have it like meta. At any moment in this entire thing, you don't realize that this world isn't real. You're fooling yourself. Like, I know it's a fantasy and you're supposed to buy in, immerse yourself in a fantasy. But, I mean, look. I mean, literally look around. I know. It's like, but it's a fantasy. Yeah. Just think about it for a second. And so, I personally would have preferred if we did the Slay God angle. And we went from... we're stuck in a canvas and we're slaves to other people painting the canvas, and they're horrible, horrible people, and that family's full of terrible, terrible people, and I hope that they all burn. And I hope that, you know, we break free of their control, basically, and took control of the canvas for ourselves. Would have been better. Would have been a better ending than the 2 endings we choose from. I think a third ending, where we kick both of them out. We go... Verso doesn't need to paint anymore. I'll paint. And it's someone from inside the canvas takes control. And then Verso can be let free. Mael can piss off out of the canvas and go back to her family. And the canvas can stay alive, but they just can't access it anymore. It becomes its own world separate from their reality. I think that would be a better third ending and would honestly fix a lot of the issues I have with the game. And it's like, is it ultra idealistic? Yeah. But it's a video game. And that's one media where you can be ultra idealistic and it's totally acceptable. Now, the ultimate story they're trying to tell of, you know, forgiveness and just grief and overcoming the grief of losing Verso in their real world. That's all well and good, but the horrible, horrible, horrible tragedies that they've inflicted on the people in this canvas and in previous canvases that they've done, because they've done them before, I have no sympathy. I have absolutely no sympathy for them at all, and I would happily watch them burn. It's like and Verso's not immune to this. I think Verso is a horrific person, and it's just like, I can't look past it. I cannot look past it. Alright, this one. The recording of when he's with one group, one expedition, and they realise that there's something sus, and then they bloody interrogate him, they capture him, and then he goes, Pop was right, we can't take the risk, too much is at stake, it had to be done, it had to. Clair already took our sister, if we want to save our family, our world, our people, we can't take any chances, and once we free Maman, she'll bring you back. It won't be forever, I promise. I promise. We all deserve to live, all of us, we deserve to exist. And this is he's killing an expedition because they found out. Well, they realised there was something sus. They saw him die and then not die, and they realised, oh, wait a second, there's something else going on. And so him and Renoir, Maman's version, or the other version, I think it's Maman's version, but he killed them. So he killed expeditioners. Kind of invalidates everything he stands for. And he let Gustave die on purpose. He could have intervened and saved him. Knew that he could take over the group if he let Gustave die. And I knew that. I picked it. As soon as that happened, I knew he waited. It was so obvious that he was manipulating them and using them. And he did that through the whole story. He never, ever considered them. At no point did he ever consider their lives of any value. And I'm talking right at the very end, Lune on her knees, CL, and they didn't matter. His pain and suffering was more important than everyone else in the entire canvas. Everyone else in this world was irrelevant. And so he did what Maël did. What Maman did. The mother. And what Renoir did. They all treated everyone in the canvas like they were nothing. Like they were not human beings and their lives did not matter at all. So I have no sympathy. So I have no sympathy for any of them. It's like, even in the ending, the bad ending, where Maël, Ariel, what do you want to call her? When she takes control of the canvas and she's puppeting it to, fulfill her whims and torturing Verso, forcing him to play. It's like, I don't feel sorry for Verso. I feel sorry for the canvas being, in control by someone so completely deluded. And it's just, it's hard. It's hard. The combat's so good though. Yeah, war crimes. The people in the main town were told as 12-year-olds to have children, so that they could spend time with their children before they were cut down by the age restriction coming down. The age restriction. But before they got Gamage, they were told that horrible, horrible things happen to these people. And their corpses are scattered everywhere. You cannot go freaking 5 feet without seeing their corpses on the ground. Everywhere in this entire world is littered with corpses. It's a mass graveyard. And the freaking monsters they just revive infinitely. They could have just easily changed the settings. They came into this world and gone, oh, let's make sure the humans aren't suffering as much, because it doesn't help. It's not pertinent to Verso. I mean, what the hell is this canvas? It's so fucked up. It's like, it is so fucked up. It undermines everything. Their entire journey of grief and thing, I just don't care about them. They don't deserve to have a good ending. They deserve to all rot in this painting and die. They're terrible, terrible people. It's just, there's no two ways about it. Yeah. It's not like you're in GTA and you're driving along the beach, GTA 5, and you're running people over. It's not like that. These are people who live and suffer and have kids and grandkids and they're battling. And what happens if... What would they have done if the gomage kept happening? If no one got there? If Verso never reached there? And it got down to like 10. And there's just 9-year-olds in the... There's only 9-year-olds. I was like, only like... And like, say there's babies left. What happens if there's just babies there? It's horrific. I can't even... You cannot possibly ever justify the nature of the canvas. It's... Yeah. It's just fucked up. This whole thing is so fucked up. But, you know, when you're in the game... Early on, I really like Gustav, so I will, qualify that. And I picked Verso instantly that he was just a total asshole, evil douchebag. Selfish piece of trash. And so I never warmed to Verso. I do think me playing in French made a difference. I think if I played in English, I would have been a bit more lenient towards Verso because of Ben Starr and Final Fantasy 16, which I streamed all of that, and I think that's a worthwhile game to play through. Yeah, well, I will say Final Fantasy 16 is more of a walking simulator than Death Stranding. That's how I'd put it. But, and it locks the harder difficulties behind beating the game, which is just one of the dumbest decisions ever. They're so stupid with that. But, I mean, it's a good point. Segue. So turn-based combat is not dead. And it'll never die, I think. And I'm happy with this active turn-based combat where you like Mario and Luigi Superstar Sega Superstar Adventure and Paper Mario and that. So it's good when you have the dodges and the blocks. I mean, parry and dodge, perfect, everything. And I like all the systems. The systems are great. Oh, Heshibu. And the boss fights are all cool and interesting. I mean, maybe there's a little bit of repetition. I mean, it is what it is. You got to reuse some boss fights. And a lot of them are called chromatic stuff. Chromatic X, Y, Z. And it's a collection of small levels. And some bigger levels. But I think it works so well as a game. I think the game itself is great. I have misgivings around the story, but I think it immerses you so well enough that only once you've detached yourself at a period of time later will you really look back and go, maybe there were massive flaws and maybe they should not have killed Gustav off, because it really, as soon as Gustav was killed off, you knew this wasn't going to be a Slay the Gods story. It was kind of like, ooh. And Mayel thinking she was the main character, they did such a great job with her characterization, I must say, because she really did think she was the main character. I laughed my ass off when she got gomaged. Once you beat the Paintress, and then you go back, and then you get... she's such an absolute... I'm the main character energy. She just... what a terrible... I mean... Yeah, what a terrible person. I mean, she's trying to escape from the reality of not being able to speak and the burns and all that sort of stuff, but it's like... You have to be in control in the canvas. You can't be a slave to the canvas when you're when you're one of those people, one of the painters, part of the royal family, special family. So she was too high on the sauce. Yeah, it's just...
C'est ce qu'on appelle fendre le ciel.
That's it. Yeah, I really like the immersion early on. I think it's fantastic. I think Gustav is really, really, really well done. His character is the most sympathetic character you have in the entire story, and that's why when he dies, I just sort of I was like numb, and I was like, "What? No, he's gonna come back, right?" And then it was just, "Oh, we're just left with these people." And then Verso, it was so obvious he was just a fucking douchebag scammer come in there to steal, and he let him die, and it's just like, yeah, yeah, I suppose that, yeah, that hurt it. That hurt things a lot for me. I still, enjoyed the combat. I still think the gameplay is fantastic and the systems are fantastic. So it's like that really brought it. That was what kept me going, really. And the story itself, I was just like, we gotta beat the Paintress, and then we find out, oh no, 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 the Paintress was saving everyone with their gomage. Piss off. They're so, they're so stupid. They're so stupid. Some of the. Oh, she was saving them from Renoir, who wanted to gomage everyone because he thought if he gomaged everyone, then she'd want to not be in the paint and the canvas anymore. It's like, piss off. It, yeah. What was their plan? If no one ever stopped her, the Paintress, like, they're really just gonna have Verso there forever on his own after everyone else has gomaged, and she like hasn't saved anyone because they all got gomaged by her. I'll save everyone by killing them all. What? It's just. And then the attitude of like the arena people, the Gestals, the freaking, like they all knew. Oh yeah, they've all seen it all before, and it's just like, oh no, it's just so weird how little care for human life there is. It's like, and it was such an insult when Mael brings them back to fight at the end against Renoir when they go back and they return, and she brings the army of slaves. She brought the expedition people back, but they were slaves. They weren't themselves. They weren't human anymore. They were just robots. I don't know why we didn't bring back Gustav straight away. Verso was obviously too much of a chicken coward piece of shit to bring back the people he killed. And some of the other expeditioners he met so many of them. He went with so many expeditions. He could have brought them back with her help. What a horrible, horrible person Verso is. Bear witness to such horrific things. He never went back and told them, oh, the Paintress is my mother. And, if we all go now, we all go together, maybe we can actually do this. Maybe if we stop doing this whole expedition thing, sending a small party of people that all get killed. Oh, and I have a friend who can fly. And I have the things that make him fly. So what I could do is, I could fly us anywhere here, and we could actually, take our time and get powerful enough to win. Oh, I could help you guys actually stop the suffering. But no. What an absolute piece of shit. And Renoir, the version, my mom's version, who was with him, ugh. Bloody earth. It's just, yeah, I just can't look past the horrific nature of this world that they created and perpetuated. It's just, yeah, it sickens me. but the game itself is great. So it's like, yeah, 8 out of 10. But the people, the family are horrific war criminals. And I mean, they're just horrific people. And let them burn. Let them burn. So if they do a continuation, obviously they should just do it from the writer's point of view. And like their family, or I don't know, make us learn more about that world. Because you can't, no more canvases, you can't do that again. But yeah, it was a bit of a letdown. Because I felt like if there was a god slaying journey, then you keep the impact. Because the moment I learnt that they were in a canvas, that their lives were treated as nothing, the impact was just gone, or it lessened, and then it returned when I realized, the human suffering was real. So it's kind of like it tries to take away the fact that human suffering is so horrific, but nah, I ain't letting them off the hook for that. I'm not interested in just walking past that and being like, it's about grief and the journey of grief. These people's lives don't matter. Nah, get stuffed. Get stuffed. It's like, if that's the way you want to think about it, then good luck to you. Power to you. But I'm just not interested in overlooking the suffering of all these people and just being like, it's fine. Nah. Yeah. But the game is great. Oh gosh. And in French, it feels better. Honestly, I think French is better than English. And it's just because it has that feeling, slightly more cultural value. Having said that, I don't feel like the game is overly French. It's such a strange thing, but when, a lot of the early reviews were like, oh yeah, it's very French. And I mean, nah, mate. It's very culturally bland. There ain't much distinctive things when it comes to mannerisms or how they interact. There's not really anything that was, hard to understand in terms of interpersonal relations. It was just like very by the books. I think the little secret stuff, secret bosses and areas and things was all pretty cool. I don't want to do any DLC. Nah, piss off with that. I don't really feel like there's any need to return to this world at all. Like, I was really considering doing New Game Plus, but I don't want to play as Gustav and then not play as Gustav again. I'd rather just, like, yeah, get fired. Get fired, basically. Yeah, so I think they bit themselves in the ass by getting rid of Gustav because he was the most sympathetic character. Because they had his bloody girlfriend die in his arms. And yeah, he was like the most important one. And then they kill him off. And I think the replacements are very weak. And Verso is a horrible human being. And that was obvious. It was obvious from the start. And then they just, prove it even more. So. And some of the, like CL and Lune, them doing weird stuff in these fights was just poorly written, poorly executed. It had no justification at all, and it made no sense at all. It was just weird. Little cutscene stuff. Just weird. And I think Monaco and SK here are just like, they're just plot devices. There's so much that is just plot devices, but it's only at Verso's whim. So Verso in control of the plot devices was just like the big thing when he joins your party and he's the same level as Gustav. That was the dumbest shit ever. It was just like
C'est ce qu'on appelle
he should be like 10 levels higher at least, just to show you. But he's really level 99 from as soon as you get him, because you can fight Renoir. It makes no sense that he'd be a low level character. It's just stupid.
parti, mon kiki.
But yeah. Alright. That'll do. Enough ranting and raving. Going mad. In the water. Into water. Yeah. Male deserves to be bald. And Verso is a clown. Alright, back on the music. So, that was a ranting, raving, complaining review of Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I did actually record one right after beating the game, but then it got corrupted and now I had to record this one. And it's been a long time, so now I'm even more enraged. It is what it is. If you violently disagree, congratulations. If you don't violently disagree, congratulations. If you have an opinion, congratulations. This was my opinion. Yeah, this is a review and yeah, a rant. Alright. I got all my boss fights. You can watch them, see how bad I am at the game, and then I come good. But yeah, I'll catch you later. Peace and chicken grease. See ya.